أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ به تعالى من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأن سيدنا محمدًا عبده ورسوله وصفيه من خلقه وخليله. بلغ الرسالة وأدى الأمانة ونصح للأمة، فكشف الله تعالى به الغمة، وجاهد في الله حق جهاده حتى أتاه اليقين من ربه. اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا محمد الرحمة المهداة، وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين، وعلى أصحابه، وعلى من تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. All praises belonging to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and may the peace and blessings be upon his beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and upon his family and upon his companions in entirety. We ask Allah Azza wa Jalla on this blessed day of Friday to make us of those who develop within, cultivate within themselves a true sense of Iman, and find meaning in life through their Iman and their relationship with Allah Azza wa Jalla and their relationship with others. I ask Him subhanahu to make us of those who have true fiqh in our deen, true understanding of what Islam is all about, and to make us of those who live the prophetic legacy and allow it to manifest in their relationships. Allahumma ameen. Amma ba'd. Brothers and sisters, a critical reflection that every single one of us must have about the nature of Iman, about the nature of how their Islam is manifesting in their life, is what makes my Iman special? Why does humanity today need Iman? What does Iman do to a person? What is it supposed to look like? And the reason why this subject came to mind was a question that was asked to me by a young person, a person still figuring things out, what to do in his life. What should I do? I want to choose something, a career that is most pleasing to Allah Azza wa Jal. I want a direction in life that'll truly help me become a better person and feel that I'm being fulfilled by what I'm doing, finding meaning in what I'm doing. That's an important thing to aspire for. هذه غاية نبيلة شريفة أن يسعى للإنسان أن يسعى الإنسان أن يسير في طريق مرضاة الله عز وجل. A very noble and beautiful thing to look at life and see what's truly going to make me feel fulfilled. Because many people, they go through the motions, whether it's work, family, relationships and whatnot, but they feel empty on the inside. They feel a little confused. They feel a little conflicted. They feel like their life isn't carrying much meaning. But one who really takes in the spirit of what Islam is all about will find divine purpose behind every interaction in life. And this is what we learn from our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There is different versions of engaging the guidance of Allah Azza wa Jal. And that's mentioned in the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The hadith, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he likens this guidance to the rain you see falling outside. إن مثل ما بعثني الله به من الهدى والعلم كمثل غيث. It's like rain. Different types, different plots of land engage that rain in different ways. Some, when that rain comes down, it takes it in and it benefits from it, and it produces greenery and it produces trees and gardens full of fruits that benefit all that come into contact with it. And others, they just are like vessels for the rain. They carry the rain, and others benefit from the water. But the ground itself does not benefit. And other types of lands, as the Prophet ﷺ says in the hadith, other types of land don't hold the water and don't benefit from the rain. He says in this category, وأصاب طائفة منها أخرى إنما هي قيعان لا تمسك ماء ولا تنبت كلأ فذلك مثل من فقه في دين الله. It's an example. The first category is someone who really understands what Islam is all about. And the example of ومثل من لم يرفع بذلك رأسا ولم ينفعه هدى الله. The guidance of Allah Azza wa Jal did not benefit him on a personal level, and that benefit did not extend to others. Brothers and sisters, what makes an-namudaj al-Muhammadi so great? What made the Prophet ﷺ so impactful on the lives of others? When you look at our beloved Prophet ﷺ, there are a few words that show you how beautiful Iman is when it truly manifests. The Quran describes the Prophet, لَقَدْ جَاءَكُمْ رَسُولٌ مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ عَزِيزٌ عَلَيْهِ مَا عَنِتُّمْ. You have a prophet from among yourselves that doesn't want to see hardship. عَزِيزٌ عَلَيْهِ مَا عَنِتُّمْ. Wherever he sees you falling into heartache, that pains him. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. That's a beautiful quality to have. Only pleasantness coming from his mouth. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. لَمْ يَكُنْ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وسلم فَاحِشًا وَلَا مُتَفَحِّشًا. The Prophet ﷺ wasn't one who would spew injurious words. If I want to know the true nature of my Iman, the Iman that's in my heart as I came to this Jumu'ah today, then I must assess it at that level. What benefit does it have? How am I engaging the guidance of Allah Azza wa Jal? Am I benefiting from it on a personal level? And is that extending to others? That's the beauty of our deen, brothers and sisters. الشفقة على الخلق من أخص صفات أولياء الله عز وجل الشفقة على الخلق والقيام بخدمتهم. One of the most profound qualities of those who truly follow the legacy of the prophets is having a strong sense of شفقة, compassion. الشفقة هي العناية مع الخوف العناية مع الخوف على الغير. Having a sense of concern and worry for the condition of people, the condition and well-being of society. That's a beautiful thing that's often lost today. Brothers and sisters, our deen teaches us wherever you see selfishness, wherever you see self-centeredness, wherever you see a sense of disregard for the emotions of people, wherever you see a sense of injury and aggression, all of those things are associated with hypocrisy and disbelief. لا يمكن أن يجتمعان في قلب مؤمن. They cannot be gathered with iman. The Prophet ﷺ tells us in a beautiful hadith, لا تنزع الرحمة إلا من شقي. The one who mercy is stripped from his heart is a shaqi. No way. When mercy is gone from the character and persona of an individual, know that he is from al-ashqiya. Wal-'iyadhu billah. He's a wretched person. That's what the Prophet ﷺ teaches us. The true nature and true essence of iman manifests in our concern for society. And on the other end, why is this important? Because this is something that plagues our relationships on so many levels. When we look at the lives of people, one of the most disgusting qualities that people turn away from, that people feel really hurt by, is this idea of muhabah and double standards. The Prophet ﷺ teaches us, من علامات الساعة إن بين يدي الساعة تسليم الخاصة. Prophet ﷺ tells us, you want to know? Before the day of judgment, there will be certain things that become rampant in society. One of these things is taslimul khassa. The individual, his entire care and concern will be about his close circle of friends. I only say salam to those people I know. But whereas iman is, أن تسلم على من عرفت ومن لم تعرف. That you show a true concern for everybody. It's not about fulan or illan. That our deen teaches us that whether it's fulan al-doktor or fulan sahib al-makana wa sahib al-mal wal-jah, whether it's that person who has that esteemed status in society, or that person who no one knows about, no one cares about. لا يؤبه له مطرود عن الأبواب. The mu'min shows the same concern and care for every creation of Allah Azza wa Jal, regardless of their status, regardless of their benefit. The Prophet ﷺ goes on to list things that will be min alamat as-sa'a. He says, وَتَفْشُ التِّجَارَةِ وَيَفْشُ قَطْعِ الْأَرْحَامِ. People before the day of judgment will become very self-centered. It'll be all about them, their business, their careers, their income. What are they trying to buy? Their houses, their cars, and whatnot. When he says, قَطْعِ الْأَرْحَامِ will become so prevalent that the individual will cut off ties of kin. That, when may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us, even intimate relatives will be, the relationships and connections with them will be severed. Maybe from Eid to Eid at best. And the Prophet ﷺ goes on to describe the day of judgment in another hadith, that the people, سَيَأْتِي عَلَى النَّاسِ سَنَوَاتٍ خَدَّاعَاتٍ. There will be times that come upon people that will be very confusing. That being a good person, an empathetic person, a compassionate person, an honest person, a trustworthy, that'll be a rare quality. The Prophet ﷺ goes on to say in this hadith, يُصَدَّقُ فِيهَا الْكَاذِبِ, that the person who is a downright liar will be looked up to. And that person who is an honest person, وَيُخَوَّنْ فِيهَا الْأَمِينَ, that person who's trustworthy will be seen as a traitor, as someone, a person of treachery. وَيُؤْتَمَنُ فِيهَا الْخَائِنَ. And then he says, وَتَنْطَلِقُ الرُّوَيْبِضَ. And he goes on mentioning other things in the hadith. But the point from this hadith is to show us that before the day of judgment, the condition of society will be distorted. And you will see this sense of sincere, genuine care and sincere, genuine honesty in relationships. That'll be lost on many people. And that's exactly what the essence of iman is all about. In another hadith, the Prophet ﷺ tells us, بَدَأَ الْإِسْلَامُ غَرِيبًا وَسَيَعُودُ غَرِيبًا فَطُوبَى لِلْغُرَبَاءِ. Prophet ﷺ said, Islam started as a unique affair, and it will return to being a unique affair. وَسَيَعُودُ غَرِيبًا. Well, in this day and age, based on the numbers, that doesn't look to be the case in terms of numbers. Muslims are 1 billion plus. A big category of people today. وَسَيَعُودُ غَرِيبًا فَطُوبَى لِلْغُرَبَاءِ. They asked the Prophet ﷺ, who are these ghurabat that you're talking about? Prophet ﷺ says, these ghurabat have the most distinct quality of what faith is all about. He says, الَّذِينَ يُصْلِحُونَ إِذَا فَسَدَ النَّاسِ. That's the attitude of the believer. Those individuals are the ones who have the heart of the muslih. The heart of the person who sees a problem and wants to resolve it. Who sees pain and wants to bring ease. Who sees sadness and wants to bring happiness. This is the mu'min. That's why the Prophet ﷺ says in another hadith that we often mention in our khutab, أحب العباد إلى الله أنفعهم للناس. The most beloved of people to Allah Azza wa Jal are those who have the most benefit to others. What's my iman look like? I need to be honest with myself. Am I that person who processes things through that lens? And it's unfortunately too common. يأتيني فلان, and he is, mashallah, صاحب مكانة. He's an important person. وإلي عنده مصلحة. I have an interest in dealing with this person. I want to build a relationship with this person because this person's important. This person's an influencer. This person's from a respectable family. And then another person comes to me and he's a nobody. He's a person on the sidelines. He's not from an esteemed family. He doesn't have money, position, knowledge, whatnot. He's not in the limelight. And I quickly turn away. And our Prophet ﷺ was told about this in the Quran. And of course the Prophet ﷺ doesn't function in this way. In Surah Abasa وتولى, Nabi ﷺ كان يعطي أشراف قريش, كان يدعو أشراف قريش إلى الإسلام. He was giving them da'wah. And still Allah Azza wa Jal did not want him to near or resemble in any way these types of people who function in this way. Fulan, sahib jah, I'm going to lift him up. Fulan, nobody, matrud an al-abwab. Who cares? Who cares about him? But today, often that's how people process things. If I don't have a maslahah with you, then what am I getting out of dealing with you? What am I going to get? What's the bottom line? What am I getting in? That's a disgusting way to approach relationships with people. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam teaches us in a hadith that there will be a special place on the Day of Judgment for the individuals who have such a genuine outlook on all those around them. He says in the hadith that on the Day of Judgment, Allah Azza wa Jal says, الْمُتَحَابُّونَ في جلالي لهم منابر من نور يغبطهم الشهداء النبيون والشهداء. In another hadith he says إن المتحابون بجلالي أين المتحابون بجلالي اليوم أظلهم في ظلي يوم لا ظل إلا ظلي. It's a beautiful thing for someone to build a relationship with a person not upon maslahah. Yeah, it's beautiful to care for your relatives. Yes. الأقربون أولى بالمعروف. Yes, those near to you are most deserving of your kindness. But there's something so beautiful in having a relationship with a person that you know there's zero benefit, worldly benefit, coming back to you for it. That's the type of thing I should aspire to build. إذا رأيت إنسان مهمش, إنسان ليس لي عنده أي مصلحة, I have no benefit from him. He's marginalized. I'm going to build a relationship with him. I'm going to serve those types of people. Because that's al-khuluq, al-Muhammadi. This is one of the greatest sifat of Allah's awliya. Is this sense of khidmah lil-khalqi ajma'in. This sense of service for all people. And we find that in a beautiful hadith, the Prophet ﷺ, even just speaking about this. This is the legacy of, this is our legacy, brothers and sisters. This is not the conclusions of myself or the ideas of myself. No, the only reason why these words are beautiful, and they're beautiful to me too, is because they're the words of our deen. That's why it's beautiful. And look at this beautiful example. The Prophet ﷺ was approached by a woman. The hadith mentions, Sahih Muslim. It mentions, روي أن امرأة كان في عقلها شيء. This woman there was something on her mind. What does كان في عقلها شيء mean? Was she مريضة نفسيا? Did she have هم or غم? The point is, this woman was in need. This woman was not right. And she came to the Prophet ﷺ and she said, Ya Rasulullah, inna li ilayka haja. Oh Prophet, I need you. Oh Prophet, I need you. What did Prophet ﷺ say? He says, Ya fulan, unzuri ayy sikaki shi'ti hatta aqdi laki hajatik. He says, oh mother of so-and-so. Who is this? Who is this sahabiyya? Man hadi fulan? The hadith doesn't mention. This hadith doesn't mention who fulan is, because it doesn't matter. It wasn't the wife of Abu Bakr or Umar or some other Sharif min Ashraf, the Sahaba. It wasn't someone well known. It was just an average woman. The Prophet ﷺ went and he said, point in the direction of your need and I'm going to go with you right now. انظري أي السكك شئتِ حتى أقضي لك حاجتك. Why does humanity need Islam? This is why it needs Islam. Look how beautiful that is. To deal with people with that genuine nature. No, I'm not about masalih shakhsiyya. No, I'm not about hawa. I'm not about whims. I'm not about personal interests. No, I'm about service. I'm about sincerity. I'm about giving to others even if I'm not going to get anything back. That's one of the beautiful things about Islam. That's one of the most beautiful things about my iman. Am I living this? Many Muslims, their version of Islam, Salat al-Jumu'ah, I left, I did my salah, I did al-Masuliyah, I gave a little charity to the masjid, alhamdulillah. End of story. I'm a good person, khalas. But this is not what my deen wants for me. My deen wants me to be a person who has such a beautiful heart like that. لا يمكن أن أكون صاحب قسوة وغلظة وفظاظة وأجد هذه المعاني النبيلة الجميلة. I cannot. No. If I'm a person of injury, one of the worst diseases of the hearts is قسوة القلب. As Allah Azza wa Jal says, ثم قست قلوبكم من بعد ذلك. And then, فبما نقضهم ميثاقهم لعناهم وجعلنا قلوبهم قاسية. No, Allah Azza wa Jal says one of the biggest uquba that He can give to some people is al-qalb al-qasi. Heart that's very rough, rigid, very injurious, disregarding of people. When he speaks, he hurts. When someone steps on his toes, he never forgives. وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ إِذَا كَانَتْ هَذِهِ صِفَاتِ أَنَا فَقَدْ اتصفت بصفات المنافقين. This is nifaq. This is nifaq 101. If someone, I need to look at myself honestly and say, do I do this? If someone crosses the line with me, I refuse to ever forgive that person for months on end, years on end. Sometimes those might be people in my own home that just because I get into an argument with my son, my daughter, my wife, my husband, I cut off ties for days, weeks. I allow the shaitan to sleep with us in our home. No, that's an ugly representation of iman. No, أريد أن أتحقق بهذه المعاني الجميلة. These beautiful characteristics of our beloved Prophet ﷺ. These beautiful characteristics of Allah's awliya. أسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يجعلنا وإياكم منهم وادعوا الله وأنتم موقنون بالإجابة. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد أشرف الخلق وسيد المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله ولتنظر نفس ما قدمت لغد واتقوا الله إن الله خبير بما تعملون. أما بعد, brothers and sisters, I realize that there's rain outside and the masjid is packed, and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless us and you with afiyah and to protect us and you from all harms. اللهم نسألك تمام العافية دوام العافية والحفظ في المال والنفس والأهل اللهم آمين. With this, inshallah, we'll keep it short and we'll conclude with saying, brothers and sisters, once again, الشفقة على الخلق هل أنا متصف بهذه الصفة أم لا؟ الشفقة على الخلق. والشفقة هي العناية مع الخوف على الغير. Having care and concern for people. I need to have this quality. Even if others don't have mercy with me, I don't care. I'm going to be a person who's genuine to their iman. لن أدع للنفاق مجالا في. I'm not going to let hypocrisy get into my heart. I'm not going to allow mercy to be stripped from my personality. وإلا أصبح من الأشقياء. I will be from the أشقياء. There's a beautiful statement by one of our salaf. He says, ينبغي لمن لم يحزن أن يخاف أن لا يكون أهل الجنة. The one who doesn't experience حزن and sadness should be worried of not being from the people of Jannah. لأن أهل الجنة يقولون الحمد لله الذي أذهب عنا الحزن. Because the people in Jannah will say, Alhamdulillah, the one who rid us of sadness. Sadness is part of life. And he goes on to say, Shafaqa is also part of the characteristics of Ahl al-Jannah. He says, وَيَنْبَغِي لِمَنْ لَمْ يُشْفِقْ أَنْ يَخَافْ أَلَّا يَكُنْ أَهْلِ الْجَنَّةِ. That person that doesn't have shafaqa, concern, worry for himself, for his family, for society, for the ummah. The person who doesn't have those worries. وينبغي لمن لم يشفق أن يخاف ألا يكون من أهل الجنة. فإن أهل الجنة يقولون إنا كنا قبل في أهلنا مشفقين. The people in Jannah will say, before we had a strong sense of shafaqah. We had a strong sense of concern, empathy, care for others. We're worried about our masir, our family's masir, our ummah's masir. We used to make dua for all those we see in pain and heartache. That's something that every believer needs to always have in mind. If I see someone sick, Muslim or non-Muslim, that affects me. I don't want to see that. If I see the ummah of Muhammad ﷺ going through hardship, wherever it might be, whether I have family in this country or that or not, it bothers me. I'm concerned about the ummah of Muhammad ﷺ. I make dua for the ummah of Muhammad ﷺ. I have to have this in every day, in every salah, in every ibadah. If I do this, with time it'll change who I am. I'll become a less self-centered person. I'll become a less selfish person. I'll start thinking about others. I'll start having greater concerns and have a stronger sense of purpose. أسأل الله تعالى أن يحقق لنا ذلك وأسأل الله تعالى أن يصلح أحوالنا وأن يغفر ذنوبنا وأن يستر عيوبنا وأن يحفظنا وأهلنا وذوينا وأحبابنا وأمة حبيبه محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. أسأله سبحانه أن يصلح أحوال المسلمين في مشارق الأرض ومغاربها وأن يولي أمورنا خيارنا وأن لا يولي أمورنا شرارنا وأن لا يسلط علينا بذنوبنا من لا يخافه ولا يرحمنا. اللهم اغفر لصغيرنا وكبيرنا وحينا وميتنا وذكرنا وأنثانا وشاهدنا وغائبنا. اللهم من أحييته منا فأحيه على الإيمان ومن أمته منا فأمته على الإسلام. اللهم اجعل خير عمرنا آخرة واجعل خير عملنا خواتم واجعل خير أيامنا يوما نلقاك فيه وأنت راض عنا. آمين آمين. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين وأقم الصلاة.
الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
لا إله إلا الله. استقيموا يرحمني يرحمكم الله. Inshallah, we're going to do jama' because of the rain. Allahu Akbar. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والتين والزيتون وطور سينين وهذا البلد الأمين. لقد خلقنا الإنسان في أحسن تقويم ثم رددناه أسفل سافلين إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات فلهم أجر غير ممنون. فما يكذبك بعد بالدين أليس الله بأحكم الحاكمين. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، الرحمن الرحيم، مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين، اهدنا الصراط المستقيم، صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. الله سمع الله الله أكبر. الله الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله، أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح، قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
لا الله أكبر. الله سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام